okay?
All right, let's bring in Republican Senator Tom Cotton, member of the Senate Economic Committee. Do you have a favorite team in the World Series, Senator?
I don't have a favorite team in the World Series, but I think I'll be rooting for the Braves after that performance last night in particular by Charlie Morton. What a brave show. I feel bad that he broke his leg, but incredible that he went for another 3 outs on a broken leg.
Can you believe that?
Unbelievable.
So let's celebrate him and celebrate their performance, and let's all hope that we can get a job as good as Will Cain's in the future.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Senator, Joe Biden's claiming that the economy is right on track, or on the right track. We have these shortages. We don't have truck drivers right now. Prices are going up, gasoline, our electric bills, toys for Christmas. We have all these backlogs at the ports in California. There were 105 vessels at those 2 ports yesterday, 107 on Monday just waiting to be unloaded. The infrastructure and the social spending bills, those are stalled now in Washington. Listen to what President Biden said, though.
Trump, I love this one. Trump likes to boast the single best measure of the economy is the stock market. I never thought that. Well, if that's true, take a look at the stock market now. It's higher than it's ever been. I guess everything's doing well. It is. Higher than it's ever been. Not only that, more people are working today than just before the pandemic started. Household wealth is up. People are buying more things. Manufacturing is up. We're on the move, but we're on the right track.
Senator, he doesn't mention that the federal government has pumped trillions of dollars into the economy to make things fluid and liquid, and that, for the most part, is what every economist says is the reason the stock market is at such highs, because the Federal Reserve is taking care of everything.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. It's amazing that Joe Biden thinks the economy is on the right track. It just goes to show how out of touch he and the Democrats are. They probably haven't spoken to folks who are paying $3 and $4 a gallon to fill up their tank, or to families who are stretching their budgets each week just to pay for higher prices at the grocery store. And look what they're trying to do now, add another $2 trillion of spending to this economy. And look what they want to spend it on. They want to give welfare benefits to millions of illegal aliens at a time we have a crisis at our southern border. Or they want to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on fanciful green energy programs. It's just going to cause you to pay more for your gasoline or pay more for electricity going into the winter months. Joe Biden and the Democrats are out of touch. They're part of the problem we have in the country right now with the economy, and their plans will only make it worse.
Listen, Jason Furman, he of high class problems, he's a Harvard economist who chaired the White House Council of Economic Advisors under President Obama. According to my colleagues, President Obama, a Democrat, he says the original sin was an oversized American Rescue Plan. It contributed to both the higher output but also higher prices. And that Larry Summers said similar things about inflation, very critical of Janet Yellen. I mean, between the Democrats ripping each other's eyes out on the reconciliation package and the way these economic experts are disagreeing publicly, you don't even need Republicans.
Yeah, Brian, I mean, Jason Furman and Larry Summers are not exactly right-wing knuckle draggers. These are former Obama and Clinton officials who have been cautioning Democrats for months that they're going to contribute to the massive rise in the cost of living working families are seeing, or to the supply chain shortages that this country now faces. I mean, kids are going to have to go out this Sunday wearing sheets with holes cut in them like Charlie Brown.
Right, which
Thanksgiving
is
going to cost more than it's ever cost.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be a ghost.
Like, yeah, you can hardly find Christmas presents on the shelves for your kids. Now, maybe that's a good thing because people aren't going to have enough money to buy Christmas presents because they're spending so much money on gasoline and on food at the grocery store. But this all goes back to the Democrats' failed economic policies. And what are they doing now? They're simply trying to double down on them once again with trillions of dollars in their spending.
Absolutely. And as we look at some empty shelves across the country, there are sporadic outages and stuff because, as Ainsley was talking about, the supply chain is not back to normal. Yesterday, Goldman Sachs said we probably won't see the supply chain back to normal until the middle of next year. And that could explain this poll. Is the American public, are you confident that Joe Biden is going to be able to ensure a quick post-pandemic economic recovery? When he took office, it was at 52%, but as you can see, he's now underwater. He's at 44%. But all of his numbers are underwater, and that's one of the curious reasons why we were talking earlier about why would Terry McAuliffe call in Joe Biden to help bail him out? Because 2 weeks ago, Terry McAuliffe was saying, look, he's not very popular, so he's not coming here. What's Terry McAuliffe see in Joe Biden right now?
Money.
Well, I think Terry McAuliffe is looking for any harbor in the storm. He's been flailing for weeks now. His poll numbers sink under the weight of Joe Biden and the Democrats' failed economic policies. So he's called in Joe Biden, he's called in Stacey Abrams, he called in Barack Obama. He's looking for anyone to help save his failing campaign, but nothing's going to save Terry McAuliffe. That race next week is going to be a canary in the coal mine when Glenn Youngkin is elected governor of Virginia, as a preview of what will happen next November when the American people repudiate Joe Biden and the Democrats and elect Republicans to take back control of the Congress.
Let's talk about what's happening in our schools. Barack Obama called that the girl being assaulted by that boy in a skirt in the bathroom in Virginia fake outrage. Her parents now say, is this serious enough for you now, Barack? And they want an apology from him after the boy was convicted and sent to another school where it allegedly happened again. And then today, the AG, Merrick Garland's going to testify today before the Senate Judiciary Committee. What can we expect? Where is this all going to go?
Well, Ainsley, President Obama showed a shocking and callous indifference to the plight of a young girl who'd been sexually assaulted, and then had her woke school board try to cover it up because the news would have interfered with their transgendered policy. And then they attacked her father for expressing his outrage at a school board meeting. And as you say, Merrick Garland's got a lot of explaining to do. He's come to the Senate Judiciary Committee today to testify in part about why he sicked the feds on parents like that father who's worried about, who was outraged at the assault of his daughter. And now the School Board Association that sent the letter that Merrick Garland admitted was the only reason he directed the FBI to investigate parents has repudiated the letter, and they've apologized. Yet it's Merrick Garland's position that he's going to continue to use the FBI to investigate parents who go to school boards to express their dissatisfaction with liberal policies and left-wing curriculum. Merrick Garland needs to resign, because this has been a sad, pathetic performance over the last few weeks, and it's just of a piece of the politicization of the Department of Justice under Merrick Garland for the last 8 months.
Well, if the senator, as you described, the School Board Association, National School Board Association, apologized for sending that letter, said we were wrong to do it. Of course, apparently at the School Board Association, only 2 people were in on the letter, and the balance of the board was steamed. But if they're saying it was inappropriate for us to say that, will then Merrick Garland say, you know what, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that because I overstepped?
That's what he should say. He should say, I'm sorry, I acted inappropriately, and I will resign. That's what Merrick Garland should say. Sicking the FBI on parents on the basis of nothing more than a politicized, baseless letter that was probably ginned up by the School Board Association's activist friends in the White House and the Department of Justice is an outrage.
Yeah, let's talk about another outrage. One of the worst things to happen to America over the last few years is this no cash bail. In a push to, they say, bow to minorities who can't afford to bail themselves out of jail, when they say middle class and upper class can afford to bail themselves out of jail, they said no more cash bail, which means you have a certain amount of time to put charges on somebody, and if you can't keep them there immediately, overwhelmingly, they get out and commit another crime before you can even process their paperwork. It's been a disaster for this state, and now maybe for a country. Now it could be coming our way. Here's a quote from the White House statement on gender equity as it relates to no cash bail. We will work to end cash bail and reform our pretrial system, recognizing the harm these processes cause, particularly for black women and families. Is this addressing the needs of minorities, or is this putting criminals on the street?
Yeah, Brian, their White House's National Strategy on Gender Equity reads like a parody of a gender studies PhD thesis. But it also shows the misplaced priorities of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats in Washington. Where's the 42-page study on how to stop the crime wave that is washing across this country? It's not by eliminating cash bail. As you say, in New York, you've seen what happens when you eliminate cash bail. Criminals are arrested. They're put right back on the streets. They threaten their victims again. They threaten the witnesses who might testify against them in trial. Or for that matter, where's the 42-page strategy for the White House to counteract inflation or the supply chain crisis? I don't see those strategies. It just goes to show how out of touch Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are and how out of touch the Democrats are in Washington.
All right.
Thank you so much, Senator.
I mean,
Thank you all.